Yesterday, I had an incident. So, I live in a place that is not diverse. Like, I rarely see people who look like me. Rarely. Like, this was my first time seeing someone who looks like me in months. So, this guy walks in, and then I see him. I look, then I look away because I was in shock. Then I look again, and I'm like, "Where are you from?" I was expecting a US state because the way he carried himself, I thought he was American. And then he said he's from Africa in a Jamaican accent. So the confusion I felt in that moment caused me to giggle. And mid giggle, I was like, "Oh my gosh, no." This person's gonna think am making fun of them, but I wasn't. And then he asked me where I'm from, and then I just like spoke without thinking. I said, same continent, and then I laughed. And then he says, what countries? I'm like, Zimbabwe. But then he didn't tell me what country exactly. So I feel like he said that because I've met some people who say they're from Africa to mean like they have some roots there, but I've never heard Americans doing that. So I was so confused. The reason why I'm sharing this story is there's a lot of interactions you've had, right? Where someone reacts a certain way and you might take offense because you think they're making fun of you or they are making a snark remark or something like that. But something else is going on inside them. Like I wasn't giggling because something's wrong with the guy. I was giggling because of the confusion. I had made an assumption that I'm going to get a state, but then I got a continent in an accent from a different continent. So I was so confused and I giggled and so yeah, I can tell you so many stories of situations where I did something and immediately thought, oh no, if this person thinks negatively of how I reacted, they're gonna think I think something negative of them. Because giggling could be like, oh, you're making fun of someone. So yeah, just always think about that. Like, give people grace when they do things, or give them an opportunity to explain why they're giggling. If he asked me, I would have explained, but he didn't. Anyway. I am suspicious of small people, especially women, walking large dogs. Whenever I see this pair, I change my path or I widen my path. So instead of going straight, I'll go left or right, create as much distance as I can away from you, and once you've passed, I walk back onto the path. I don't trust small people walking big dogs because people do not know how to train their dogs to act properly. And if that dog decides to act up, that person cannot apprehend that dog. That person cannot control that dog, tame that dog. I don't trust. So one day, I saw this petite woman walking this German Shepherd. And I did what I did. However, I instantly realized that she thought I was doing it for a different reason. The reason being she was dressed in cultural clothing, and there's this culture in North America to fear people who wear that clothing. So for a second, I felt bad, but then I thought my safety comes first. I'm not going to make you feel comfortable if you're walking a ginormous dog, and I don't know you, I don't know your dog, so I'm going to protect myself. But I did acknowledge that it probably looked bad. It probably looked like I was part of those people who are irrationally afraid of people of this culture and belief. But yeah, This goes into the video I just posted about de-escalating situations and understanding that sometimes when people react a certain way, it's because of something else going on inside them. It has nothing to do with you, and you should extend grace. And that don't get offended too quickly before asking the person why they did what they did. Of course, in this situation, I walked so far away from her, she couldn't have asked, and probably, I don't know, it's a sensitive topic. But yeah, I've heard people saying grief changes people, and I have to say, the worst pain I've ever experienced in my life is grief. You feel helpless, there's nothing you can do about it. You feel like there's forces in the world that are doing things and there's nothing you can do about it. It's a pain I don't wish on anyone. But the reason why my grief changed the way I look at things is I had two incidences. There's one person I told, hey, so-and-so just died. And the person laughed. They laughed. And then there was another person who was like, oh, you need to stop crying, because tears were just dropping down my cheeks. She was like, you need to stop crying, like, it's over now, you need to stop crying. Just basically telling you that, stop, like, it's over. And that's when I realized people do lack empathy. And people do crazy things when you lose loved ones. They sometimes use those opportunities to say what they want to say to you or show you exactly how they feel about you or how they feel about the person who just passed. So yeah, when people are changed by grief, it's not just the loss, it's also the truths that come out when that person is gone, because you really see who was in your corner during those times.